So as we prepare, because we appreciate all of you being here and being so prompt, being on time. We even had a couple of you that signed on even earlier. I want to shout out Angel. But really, really appreciate your taking this time. This event is only going to be 30 minutes from the moment that we get started. And because we're on a tight schedule, we're going to ask that any questions that you may have during the course of the program, if you would just drop those in the chat, and I will either answer you back in real time, or I will be sure that we get that answer back to you. So any questions that you have, just feel free to drop those in the chat, and we'll be sure to get those back to you. So before I turn it over to Mr. Lance Triggs to welcome us and do our roll call, who is our President of Programming, Executive Vice President, or President of Programming. Sorry if I got that wrong, Lance. I'll take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Charlisa Pugh. I am the Director for Young Adult and Youth Programming. Again, thank you all for being here. We're really, really excited about this tremendous opportunity that you're about to embark on. With that, Lance, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Charlisa, and good afternoon, everyone. What Charlisa was trying to say when she was my title, really, it's just whatever Charlisa and our fine coaches tell me to do, that's what I do. So I'm a servant leader, just like all of us at Operation Hope, and we're here to be of support to each and all of you. Again, my name is Lance Triggs. I'm President of Program Operations with Operation Hope. I'm based here in the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. I've been with Operation Hope going on 29 years. So for over 29 years, I've been blessed with the opportunity of working with wonderful coaches around the United States, our new coaches that are going to be supporting this initiative, and Charlisa and many others in helping you achieve your financial aspirations. So I just want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to be of service to you. I also want to thank Santander Consumer and City Year for bringing this program together for you. Santander Consumer was kind to sponsor the pilot program in Dallas last year, and we had great results with the core members there. And because of the great results that we had with the core members there, we were able to expand it to 15 cities across the United States. So we're extremely excited about this opportunity. And I want to also mention that we have 566 core members. That's right, 566 core members already signed up to receive the Hope Financial Wellbeing Program. Again, thanks to Santander Consumer and City Year. So give Santander and City Year a round of applause for their support. Because of their support, it allows us to provide our programs at no cost to you, zero, no cost to you. So we're also excited about that. I also want to just acknowledge the cities that will be participating as part of this program. Starting with Dallas, Texas. We got San Antonio, Texas. We have Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We have New Orleans, Louisiana. We have New York City. We have Detroit, Michigan. We have Washington, D.C. We have Denver, Colorado. We have Boston, Massachusetts. We also have Jacksonville, Florida, and Miami, Florida. And we also have Tulsa, Oklahoma, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Little Rock, as well as Kansas City, Missouri. So let's give all of these cities a round of applause for your participation. I want to just thank the leaders at City Year and the managers who've been very engaged in helping us promote the program throughout all these cities. And I also want to give a great shout out to some of the coaches that we have signed up who's going to be your personal financial well-being coach, helping you achieve your goals. And so we have, I don't know if all of them are on this call or not, but I want to acknowledge Clarice Maston King, who's our financial coach for Dallas, Texas. Dominique Juarez, who's our financial coach in San Antonio. I believe we have Todrick Kamouch, who's our coach supporting Baton Rouge and New Orleans. And then we have Danielle O'Connelly, who's supporting the New York City location. And then we have Michael Thompson, who's supporting the Detroit, Michigan location. And then Michael Horton, who's supporting the Washington, D.C. location. I believe they're on with us today. And then other coaches, I don't believe, who are going to be on this celebration call, but we'll be ready to serve you when we roll out the program. Emma Miller in the great city of Denver, Colorado. Also, Aminta Dyson, who will serve both Jacksonville and Miami. Alexander Massey, who's going to be supporting Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we have other coaches that we're onboarding as we speak. So we're very excited about this partnership, about the impact that we're going to have, just to kind of put it in perspective in terms of how we're impacting individuals like yourselves across the entire United States in over 200 locations. Our key point is beyond providing you the financial education that's going to help improve your ability to make wise financial decisions. At the end of the day, we count success as, did we improve your credit score? Did we increase your savings? Did we reduce the debt? So that you come to work because you want to and not because you have to, and you are able to achieve the aspirations that you have before you and your family. A good example of that, Operation Hope, through our great work of our coaches, we're increasing credit scores on an average of 44 points within a 4 to 5 month period. That's a 4 to 5 month period. And then in terms of debt, we're averaging a reduction of financial debt by over $2,000, again, within a 4 to 5 month period. And then in terms of savings, for those of you who want to save, we're increasing the average savings of over $1,200 for individuals who have gone through our program. So we are very excited about the great work that we're doing, that all of our coaches that are going to be supporting this effort. And again, we're just so thankful to Santander Consumer and City Year for giving us this opportunity. And so I'll just give everyone a shout out for being here today. We're celebrating because we're going to claim the success for all of you as part of this program. And so at this time, I would like to introduce with the coaches we have on, and I guess, Charlisa, how many coaches do we have on at this moment? Because I want each of them to be able to, provide us with one word why they're doing this work. So can you tell me who's on today from the coaching side? And then we can call on them to give us that one word real quick.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lance. Let's start out with Dallas, mighty Dallas. We have Clarice Maston King. Clarice, can you come off of mute for us?
Yes. Oh, Lance, Mr. Triggs, you did one word. I'm not a one-word person, but I'm gonna do it.
You can do it.
So what comes to mind is empowerment. Empowerment, I'm gonna sneak one word in, legacy. Empowerment and legacy.
All right. Who's next, Charlisa?
Awesome. How about San Antonio, Dominic Juarez? Where are you, Dominic?
I'm right here. Hello, folks. So the one word that comes to mind is community.
All right, we got community in the house. Who's next, Charlisa?
Well, Todrick Kamouch will be representing the great cities of Baton Rouge and New Orleans.
Hi,
Todrick?
good afternoon. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. One word is definitely growth.
All right. Who's next?
How about the Big Apple, New York City? Dan O'Connelly.
Hello, everybody. I will go with inclusion.
All right. Way to go, Dan. Love it. Who's next up?
And the Motor City, Detroit, Michael Thompson.
Well, good evening. My bottom line is eradicate the wealth gap.
All right, we got 3 words in there.
Hey.
Wealth gap. All right, we'll take it.
Motor
take-
City.
Absolutely. And do we have anyone else?
And then DC, we have Michael Horton, I believe, has joining us. Michael, would you like to say?
Yes, my one word would be freedom. Freedom from debts. Freedom.
All right. All right. I like that too.
Awesome. That rounds us out. As you said, Lance, we have other coaches that are not with us, but will be once we get started later this month.
All right. Great job, team. So as you can see, core members, we are here to be of service. We just gave you an example of some of the 1 words as to why our coaches are dedicated and committed to be of service to you. So again, we want you to start writing down some of your aspirations, what you want to achieve, and our goal is to help you to meet those aspirations. At this time, I have the wonderful pleasure of introducing a very good friend of mine and also Operation Hope, who without her vision, without her leadership, support, and commitment, this program would not be possible. And so at this time, I would like to introduce Santander Consumer Chief of Diversity Officer for Santander Consumer USA, Vernitia Hendricks. Vernitia, I'll pass the ball to you, my friend.
Hey, Lance, thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me, first of all, and it's always a pleasure. So excited to see all of our City Year AmeriCorps members, our City Year staff, and our good friends from Operation Hope, especially our financial coaches that are here today. So it was so great to hear all of your words and what each one of you had to say. Over a year ago, we had a meeting with City Year to really discuss how Santander could help improve the financial future of core members. And the answer was simple: help by offering support and education, which ultimately gives hope. So we turned to our partners at Operation Hope and we got to work. We worked with Heller Holland and her team at City Year Dallas to pilot a program that would help core members not only set and achieve financial goals, but start building generational wealth for their families. So with the success of this pilot, we now have a multi-year, multi-million-dollar commitment to help ignite the financial success of more core members across the country. It's because of your dedication to the students, schools, and communities you serve that we are privileged to make this commitment. So prosperity can be achieved if you're willing to put in the work and take advantage of the resources and support that you have. So I would love to see each and every one of you take advantage of this and achieve not only your financial goals for you right now, but think about the future. Someone used the word legacy, one of the coaches, as one of their words. And so this isn't just about you. This is about your family, the people who are going to come behind you, the core members that are going to come behind you. So please, please, please take advantage. So do we have John Hope Bryant on the call? I want to make sure Mr. John Hope Bryant is on the call before I introduce him. Is John on the call, Lance?
I think he's having some challenges joining, so let me see his status right now.
Okay.
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to say that they're probably having a hard time joining because I think it's capped at 300. So there's also a lot of other AmeriCorps members that aren't able to join right now.
Oh, no. Technical difficulties. I wonder if we sent out a alternative link, if that could work.
Let me see.
Are working behind the scenes right now to see if we can resolve that. So sorry about this.
Sorry about that.
You AmeriCorps City Year members have just really astounded us by, coming on and joining us. And so we're working to get that resolved. While we're waiting, and again, I know that we are, on a strict schedule, but maybe if you could put in the chat what is your one word for why you are here? What are you looking to gain out of this experience? I see some pretty powerful words here: security, stability, financial literacy, knowledge and readiness, financial freedom, discipline, skills, self-control. These are all wonderful reasons for taking part in this opportunity. And with the help of your coaches and with your determination, you'll reach a lot of these goals.
Charlie, so one of the things that keeps coming up for me that I saw repeatedly was independent. And so I'll just talk about that for a moment. And again, I just saw responsibility come up. I love that word as well, but we often talk about financial freedom as dignity. It really is that independence, that dignity that you have to be able to achieve your goals through a disciplined way, but knowing that if Vernitia can do it, anybody can do it. And we really have to stay focused on believing that. It's a mindset when we talk about financial freedom and getting that security and achieving that balance and having that independence. It starts with a mindset. And the wonderful folks at Operation Hope will show you some tools and techniques and give you some guidance and some support, but it's really going to come down to the individual person that you are, your commitment to all of this. So we know that you're committed because you're core members. You're committed to show up every day to the schools, to deal with the students and the faculty and everyone else to make a difference in student achievement and to really help those who need it most. You may remember in your own lifetime when someone helped you. A lot of the core members that I talk to are simply paying it forward. They're trying to give back what someone gave to them. And so it is so important that you think about that when it comes to your financial freedom, your ability to pay that forward to someone else. So Charlize, I'll turn it back over to you. I just wanted to say that. It looks like John is on now, so I'll keep going and actually introduce my good friend. I'm so excited. And let me tell you, you all are in for a treat. So I have the great honor of introducing a man who has dedicated his life to helping improve the financial well-being of others and inspiring them to prosper. John Hope Bryant is the chairman and CEO of Operation Hope. He is an entrepreneur, author, and prominent thought leader on financial inclusion, economic empowerment, and financial dignity, what I just talked about. He's also been recognized by 5 former US presidents and is responsible for financial literacy becoming a part of US federal government policy. Among his many awards, John was the recipient of Oprah Winfrey's Use Your Life Award and is leaving a legacy every single day. So please join me in giving a very warm virtual welcome to Operation Hope's founder and chairman, my friend, Mr. John Hope Bryant. Good to see you, John.
Good to see you. Honored to be here. Thanks for all that you do. Thanks for your leadership and in this initiative. I want to also acknowledge my friend Lance Triggs. I see the welcomes coming in. Thank you. My friend Lance Triggs and Mary Arison and the heroes and sheroes at Operation Hope who helped to make this possible. Also, my friends at Santander, from Mahesh to Tim Winnes, all the other folks there who supported this initiative and support City Year, as well as Operation Hope and communities that are challenged around the country and around the world. I thought it was funny trying to get into the Zoom. You guys couldn't find me, but you wouldn't let me in. Like, this was like the biggest online party since COVID. I mean, it kept booting me out saying, well, it's reached capacity, call back later. I'm like, yo, man, I'm a speaker. Like, who do I call? Well, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that something like this is popular. You know, I keep saying that it takes 20 years to change a culture. It's actually a Quincy Jones quote, one of my mentors. It takes 20 years to change a culture. When the last 20 years, we've made dumb sexy. We've dumbed down and celebrated it. And now it's time to make smart sexy again. And it's really cool to see folks committing to school and committing to keeping other people, young people who are in school on the right path and who are in communities, seeing community and seeing the village of support that maybe is not present in their family by figuring out what you have to give, not what you have to get. I'm talking about you, city year leaders. My friend, Michael Brown, who helped to co-found this organization, had a vision, and I love seeing that vision now made real. I'm gonna say a couple things to you that I really want to sink in. Number one, you can't change the world without young people, because young people are idealists. They actually believe that change is possible. Sometimes you get older, you become cynical. Be skeptical, but don't be cynical, because once you become cynical, you've lost hope. So question everything, but do it with optimism, because rainbows only follow storms. You cannot have a rainbow without a storm first. You cannot grow without legitimate suffering. So you need that optimism and that idealism, but you also need the wisdom that comes with time. And I've been doing this for 30 years. The founder of Operation Hope, and I know this to be true. We're sitting in a moment in history right now. But history does not feel historic when you're sitting in it. It just feels like another day. But that does not mean that the moment is not, in fact, historic. So what if you're not just giving a year of service to others? What if you're actually mentoring the future? What if you're actually creating a framework of culture and community that's going to power the world for the next 100 years? What we do between now and 2030 just might last for the next 100 years. Everything that we do now matters. Everything. We're in what I call the Third Reconstruction. The first Reconstruction was after the Civil War, and that was about freedom. The second Reconstruction was during the Civil Rights Movement, and that was about access. And the third Reconstruction is right now, between 2020, when the pandemic started, and 2030. And that's called opportunity. Giving folks a hand up, not a handout. It's the James Brown version of affirmative action. Open the door, I'll get it myself. Watch how you live your life. It may be the only Bible that anybody else reads. We model what we see. That's why when you guys lean into schools, kids, their wellness, their sense of healthcare, self-esteem, their confidence, their math and English skills all skyrocket just because you gave them time and attention. But there's another piece of this missing, both in your life and in theirs. That's understanding how this free enterprise system works. Or as the great late Shimon Peres told me, as I was in Jordan, and we were both in Jordan for a meeting, and he looked at me talking about my work at Operation Hope 20 years ago, and he said, folks will criticize you, John, because they don't understand what you're doing. But when they criticize you, you tell them this: even if you want to distribute money like a socialist, you got to first collect it like a capitalist. You cannot give what you don't have. The blind man in a blind town, a one-eyed man's king. If you don't know better, you cannot do better. And I'll tell you something else. You hang around 9 broke people, you'll be the 10th. So we've got to figure out who we are, whose we are, and what we're about, and what tools and skills we have to offer to society for the 21st century, and what comes next. To quote Dr. King's last book, where do we go from here? Chaos or community. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a pullback to my own personal story, and then we'll come directly to you. And I want to also tell you, you remind me this partnership we have reminds me a little bit of what we did with the Peace Corps, Mary Arisam and I, in South Africa, where we taught Peace Corps members financial literacy. And they went out to villages and taught those same skills to women, 40,000 women plus that we helped in South Africa to take their lives back because they were with abusive men. Why? Why do women stay with the men who abuse them, with children? Money. Giving them that sense of freedom, that financial freedom and understanding how the economy works, giving them the financial literacy tools to give them self-esteem and confidence, allowed them to leave an abusive household and take their own lives back. Can I get an amen? Personal story. I'm not boring you, am I? You know, I got low self-esteem. Personal story. My mom and dad engaged in domestic abuse. No, let me be blunt. I love my father, great man. I'm a businessman because he was a businessman. He was a businessman because his father was a sharecropper and probably a slave born in 1871 in Mississippi. But my mother was a financial genius in the family. She learned to save. She was industrious. And only in a relationship with a husband and wife or partnership or any kind of relationship does the math not work. In a relationship, you should be better together. 2 + 2 should equal more than 4. It should equal 6, 8, 10. If you're not better together, then why are you with each other? Because you can do that all by yourself. You don't need help. My mother and my father got into it over money. My dad beat my mother. And I'm 5 years old watching this in Compton, California. And I had to call the police because my mother was being beat. My mother took off that pump that she was wearing and beat my dad with it. I had to tell the police, come. No. My dad's beating my mother. No. My mother's beating my father. My mother had no self-esteem problem. And she left because my dad took the $4,000 my mother had saved to send my brother to a college of his choice. And he took that money himself. And when he did that, he robbed my mother of a dream that my brother could go to any college he liked. He ended up going to the military, where he stayed his entire career, married a Hawaiian in Hawaii, has Hawaiian children, now works for the Navy. Nothing wrong with that story, except that $4,000 decision for my dad changed my brother's entire life. Are you with me? That one decision. So my mother leaves my father, they divorce over money. Everyone calls it divorce, America's money. My mom leaves my dad, goes to live with somebody she said was my cousin, who really was her girlfriend. And my uncle really was the girlfriend's boyfriend, because my mother didn't want me to be ashamed or afraid that we were living with strangers. She went there to save money to buy her first home for us. When I was staying with him, I fell backwards, and there was no city year volunteer, unfortunately, in my neighborhood to look after me, as you are in so many other neighborhoods. So thank you for that. I fell backwards on that porch, and I was swallowing my tongue, and my uncle, quotation marks, this young man that we were staying with, he hit me between my shoulder blades, cleared my throat passage. He saved my life. So I idolized this guy, very much like these kids idolize you in these classrooms. I waited for him every day to come home. And to make a long story short, I know we don't have a long time, but this is very important you to understand this part about me. It's not in the bio. I waited for him to come home. I didn't realize he was selling marijuana part-time around the corner to make extra money to take care of us, in addition to his job. And make a long story short, the drug dealers from around the corner, for whom he was in their territory, followed him to our house, his house, where we were staying at, on a bicycle. He was on a bicycle, they were in a truck, and he ran him down. They ran him down on that bicycle and killed him in front of me. That was about money. My mom's divorce from my father was about money. My dad was stressed out about money. We moved. My mother could buy a house, 15502 South Fraley Avenue, Compton, California, our first home. And my mother was a single parent at that point. And my next door neighbor, Tweet, who was a drug dealer, had an influence over my best friend, George, who I wanted to be like. He was everything I wanted to be like. He was smarter than me. Make a long story short, George didn't know who he wanted to be like. He didn't have a city year mentor to emulate. at school or at home or in the neighborhood. So George, even though he's smarter than me, didn't have anybody tell him that he could be anybody he wanted to be, didn't tell him that they loved him, like my mother told me she loved me. He ended up hanging around my next door neighbor, Tweet, and getting killed with Tweet. Now I'm 9 years old. That was about money too. They were selling drugs. You with me so far? I need to see it in the chat. You with me?
Yes.
All right. So now I'm 9 years old and a banker comes in my classroom. Think about you now. He's got a white shirt, a red tie, and a blue suit. He happened to be Caucasian. He taught a class called home economics, which doesn't exist anymore, financial literacy. By the second time he was coming in his classroom teaching us about the language of money, I raised my hand. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Excuse me. And I wore this crushed velvet, three-piece velvet suit my mother made me to school. I got beat up every day, by the way, in Compton. And but I wanted to dress like the dude was dressed. I raised my hand. I said, excuse me, sir, what do you do for a living? And how'd you get rich legally? I was dead serious. What do you do for a living? You're wearing a suit, you have a business card, you're on a salary, you're here in the middle of the day. My mother has two 15-minute breaks in the day at her hourly job and a lunch break at McDonald's aircraft. I don't have, she wears, my father wore a blue shirt, you have a white shirt, you have a car in the parking lot, it's got a license plate on it and tags, meaning it's legal. You work in an office building, the only office building in Compton was the courthouse. What do you do for a living and how did you get rich legally? Because all I saw in my neighborhood as symbols of success were drug dealers and gang members. He said, young man, I'm a banker and I finance entrepreneurs. I said, sir, I don't know what an entrepreneur is. I never heard that word my entire life. French word, build something from nothing. I've never heard that word my entire life. I'm 9 years old, but whatever that is, if it's legal and you're financing it, I'm gonna be one. So the short version of this story, you can read it in my book, Up From Nothing, or I'll look it online, the rest of the story, but I started a neighborhood candy house, put the liquor store out of the candy business, made $300 a week, found girls, lost the business, another recurring story in my life, but luckily I got married, that story's over. That part of the story's over. But my self-esteem went through the roof because I became an entrepreneur at 10 years old and somebody unpacked for me the language of money. And now all I saw was opportunity in my neighborhood. I had blinders on and I was looking for that Santander banker to help finance my dream. Today, and I was homeless 6 months of my life when I was 19 years old, just to finish this story. But God don't make dirt. You can't fall from the floor. Success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. Life's about 10% what life does to you and 90% how you choose to respond to it. I take no for vitamins. I went over and around it, through it, because I was going to get to it. Nothing was going to stop me. Nothing was going to stop me, like nothing is going to stop you. So today, I'm the largest minority-controlled owner of single-family rental homes in America. I own 700 homes. This has nothing to do with Operation Hope. Nothing to do, completely separate. Operation Hope is 200 locations across the country. We didn't know, when I first met Michael, your co-founder, I think we had 1 or 2 offices. We are now the largest in the country around at Operation Hope. But Promise Homes Company.
Yeah, it was really cute. It was a dinosaur. What I have a picture.
But at the Promise Homes Company, I'm the largest minority-controlled owner of single-family rental homes in America, and that is up from nothing. Signed a $200 million credit facility in December. So if I came from Compton, California and South Central LA, experienced murder twice in my life before I was age 9, and I have the story that I have, what can you do? Yes, what you can do for others, but what can you do for you? Don't you want generational wealth? I'm talking to you. Don't you want to help your mother, your father? Don't you want to help your relatives to come up? Don't you want to give them be the role model that you want to in the world? Of course you do. Don't you want to be the change you want to see in the world? You want to not just be the recipient of Santander's money. You want to deposit some of your own money in Santander. Can I get an amen? So I'm here to tell you, you have a chance today to begin this journey of changing your life. You're going to get some training. You're going to get some opportunity. It starts with the first step. Just like I started that home economics class. Go to your coaches. I go to an Operation Hope coach. That's right. My credit score is 803, I think it is today. But my credit score used to be really, really bad. And I changed it because an Operation Hope coach works with me every quarter. Here's my credit score today. I don't know if you can see that. It's in the 800s, but it was in the 300s, the 400s, the 500s, the 600s. And I fought back and I built my life up on my own. So you can do this. You can lower your debt by $2,600, raise your savings $1,000, increase your credit score 54 points in 6 months, 120 points in 24 months, because nothing changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. So the bank says yes to you for your home, yes to you for your small business loan, yes to you for your college loan, if that's what you want, yes to do for prime credit, yes to you for whatever opportunity you want for yourself and your family. And now you're able to also change the lives of those you're mentoring. Watch how you live your life. It may be the only Bible anybody else reads. I am so proud of you. And I'm so glad you let me in your meeting and didn't keep me outside of your Zoom.
Thank you, Chairman Bryant, for that wonderful inspirational message. Can we give Chairman Bryant that City Year Santander USA round of applause? Over 300 people and counting. That's the church of what's happening now, as they say. So thank you so much, Chairman Bryant, for taking time out of your schedule. Thank you, Renita, as well, for taking time out of your schedule, and again for your support, Santander USA support and City Year support. Now, some of you may have a question in terms of, well, what are the next steps? I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. Well, number one, you're going to be hearing from one of your coaches, the coaches that are assigned to your city over the next several days. And workshops will begin the first week of November. Remember, in order for you to qualify for that wonderful gift from Santander USA and City Year, that $1,000 stipend, you will have to attend all six workshops and meet with your coach at least twice at the beginning of the program and at the end of the program, so that you can get the most out of this opportunity that Chairman Bryant mentioned. And you can build relationships, you can increase your wealth, you can increase your financial well-being, as well as your family. So we are very excited about this opportunity that we're putting before you today. You had a chance to hear Chairman Bryant share his story. All of us at Operation Hope have a story to tell, where because we did not have the knowledge, we did not have the opportunity that's afforded to you today, that once we committed ourselves to it, our lives would change forever. Closing, some of you will.
Hey, Lance.
Sir.
Make sure the audience, before you guys wrap up, make sure you tease Lance, because I grew up in Compton, California, in the hood, DA-HOOD. Lance grew up around the corner from me in Carson, where they had stucco homes and pretty girls and nice schools. He grew up in the wealthy neighborhood and wouldn't let me come over his house. So for all that you guys are doing, I want you to take the classes, all that stuff. But Lance would not even let me come over from Compton to Carson because he was bougie. So I want you to give him a hard time, because it's been on my mind for 30 years now. He's been stressing me out. So he's sitting there talking about, oh, no opportunity. No, Lance was rich. He was rich, and I grew up in the hood. Me. All right, bye. Love you, Lance.
Love you too, my man. Yeah, don't believe him. Well, thank you all for your participation. Again, I want to thank you as core members for your engagement this evening. We're so excited to be able to provide this program to each and every one of you. I personally will be checking on you throughout your journey, and I have complete confidence that all of you will benefit from this program. All of you will be able to receive that $1,000 stipend, thanks to Santander USA and City Year, and leverage it properly. So let's get fired up and ready to go. We're very excited, and we look forward to having much success. And then when we get together at the end of the program, we're going to have a large celebration with many of you having your own success stories in terms of how this program has changed your life financially. Charlisa, any closing comments, anything that you need to cover before we conclude?
No, Lance, you covered it all. Thank you, everyone. We will be tabulating the city that had the highest percentage today. As I told you before, you will each receive a signed copy of Chairman Bryant's book, The Memo, The City with the Highest Percentage. Thank
That's
you all
awesome.
for being here.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening. Keep up the great work as core members. You're doing a great job.
God
You're
bless y'all.
changing lives every day.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank
Bye now.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank all of you for taking time out of your busy day and evening. Look at that. We oversold the place. Even Zoom
How
couldn't
about that?
handle anymore. Shows how wonderful city year core members are and their supervisors. Thank the supervisors and directors for their continuous support in promoting this opportunity. So we look forward to great success to everybody. We're here for you, and everything is confidential. We do not share your information. It's between you and the coach. And so we look forward to success. And when you achieve success, please tell your story. Please tell your story. Share your story, like Chairman Bryant shared his story. And maybe on the graduation side, I'll share my story to show that I'm not from the bougie side of town, as Chairman Bryant said. Actually, Carson was Compton before it became Carson. Well, thank all of you for taking time. Keep up the great work as core members for what you do every day. I know you know that you're changing lives every day for the people that you're serving. And again, we want to be of service to all of you. And so please take advantage of the program at no cost to you, thanks to Santander USA and City Year. And we look forward to you achieving some wonderful financial goals because of taking advantage of this opportunity. So thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Bravo.
Good night, everyone.